Welcome to Queer Conversations. I'm your host G of Vergy TV, and my guest today is Zipporah, the poet.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Queer Conversations is a show here on Facebook and a Vergy TV Facebook channel. Please like this page. We share LGBTQ stories and also our allies. So tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and share this conversation. Comment, you can ask questions, and Zipporah is here for 30 minutes. You can ask her anything about her life and about her career. Hey, Anne-Marie, thanks for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So Zipporah is a poet. The first time I came to know you, you performed at Thou Art Woman. Mm-hmm. Did a very powerful poem that is now very well known by many.
Yes.
Right? How did you get started with poetry?
Oh, wow. I would say I would go all the way back to high school is when I started doing public speaking for this club called FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America. And I didn't even know that I could do public speaking. I didn't know that was something that I was good at.
Okay.
But I knew I could memorize words really well.
Oh, that's great.
So I played second in states, and then I started writing more and more and more. And I'm like, okay, I'm good at this. And I think it's when my mother passed, it's when the passion came, and the drive. I was writing more and more, and I'm like, when I read my poetry, I'm like, okay, this sounds like a sermon, like my dad preaching or something,
Oh, wow.
And so I started, the voices from each poem started just coming out naturally. So
yeah, I love how you present. Sorry about your mom.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, how you share your poetry is very powerful. I
You.
always wonder about people who are able to memorize all those words. Like, how does that? Because do you get afraid that you're gonna forget it, or you just have it?
Yes. You know what? If I drink before I do a performance, I will forget some words.
So no alcohol.
No alcohol. I can
imagine.
Anything else, good. But alcohol, I could not. But sometimes I think I'm nervous every time. Every single time I get on stage, I'm nervous. But I just, I don't manifest the fear and the nervousness. I just manifest me doing it, performing well.
Okay.
So.
And you bring it, you rip it.
Right.
Every time I seen you do it. Every time. Yeah. Now the particular poem, I know you have many poems, of course, but there's one that you're pretty popular for.
Yeah.
So, what inspired? And you want to tell people the name, or you want me to tell people?
You can tell them.
As far as I believe, it's called "This Pussy Ain't Free."
Yes, this pussy ain't free.
This pussy ain't free. What inspired that poem?
I remember when I first moved back home, because I was away for a while. I'm in the military, and I came back home after surgery, and I was staying with my brother in Coral Springs. And this was a time for me, this is a time of transition. So I had a lot of downtime, a lot of free time.
Okay.
And around this time, Kendrick Lamar's album came out, To Pimp a Butterfly. And so I think it's For Free. It's one of his interludes. I don't know if it's an actual full song or interlude.
Right.
And it speaks to, it's like him speaking to the Americanized black man.
Okay.
So I listened to that piece, I don't even know how many times, over and over and over and over again. And I was like, well, you know what? I want to make a piece speaking to the Americanized black woman, black man. So he was speaking to the black woman, the Americanized. Really, he was speaking to America, because a lot of ways and a lot of, bad habits that we picked up is we picked up from, I feel like we picked up from just the ways of society, the ways of the country. And so I challenged myself, and I feel like it came out exactly the way I wanted it to come out.
And when you write, are you physically writing pen to paper, or are you writing you have it in your head and then you write it all out, or is it as you go along?
As I go.
As you go.
It depends. Sometimes, it's some poems, the one that I performed at another Thou Art Woman, I'm trying to remember which one that was, but I remember that piece I wrote literally just sitting in sitting with my friend in New Orleans, and they were making beats in the studio. I literally wrote as they were making beats.
Nice.
So it just depends on what energy, what the aura is in the
nice.
in the environment.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. And thank you for joining us. A lot of people came on. Julianne, big up. Anne-Marie.
Hey, everybody.
Kavor, all the way from Kingston, Jamaica, tuning in every week. Thank you, everybody. A lot of people here are tuning in every week. Thank you so much. I'm here with Zipporah Jael. She is a poet, and she's performed many places. I met her first at Thou Art Woman, and I've been sharing, so make sure everybody who tunes in knows, the next Thou Art Woman is March, first weekend in March, here in Fort Lauderdale. So you want to get your tickets to fly in. Make your plans. You know, it's what's that, 6 months away, but you want to make your plans to come in. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your identity in terms of LGBTQ. How do you identify?
I know a lot of people have labels and have their ways of genderifying themselves, and I'm just me being myself. I don't. You know. I consider myself a woman that loves women.
Okay,
you know,
that's
a lover of women. That's whenever
like
people
that.
ask me, I don't call myself a lesbian.
Okay.
I don't call myself a diamond, femme, stud, none of that. I'm just a lover of women.
Yes,
you know,
I love that.
And I feel like that's important to just kind of let go of the labels and let go of just be yourself. Whatever you love, whatever you feel, just be yourself.
I'm seeing that more and more. I mean, people saying no label or just not wanting to fall into one of the, that's why we even have that many letters, because people are feeling like, I don't want to identify with the L or the G or the B, the T, the Q, and it keeps going on.
Right.
So, yeah. And what about for you in terms of a coming out story to your family, your friends, your community, as a woman who loves women?
Right. It's crazy because, I mean, I was raised Pentecostal. If anybody knows what Pentecostal is.
Oh, yeah.
No pants, no jewelry. I think I pierced my ears when I was 19 years old.
Wow, yeah. I have some Pentecostal family members. I know, I have a cousin who's a minister. So
right, so you know, and I think I wore my first pants when I was maybe 17 years old. I slid on my first, and I snuck and put those on. But I've always loved the feminine energy. I've always had a connection with the feminine energy, and ever since I was in preschool, I used to get in trouble. I had a big crush on my preschool teacher. And I used to get in trouble all the time so that I can sit, you know, the teacher sit you next to them. Yeah. She's like, every day I'm sitting you next to you. I'm like, I want to make sure I get in trouble first before the other bad kids get in trouble. But I wasn't bad.
I'm being bad again.
Right.
Yes, I'll come sit beside you.
But, I mean, I've always known that I had a connection to women. And I feel like when my coming out, I was probably 15.
Okay, that's
and
pretty
I told
young.
my dad, and I came to him. I said, Dad, look, I'm speaking to you as a member of your church.
So your dad is a minister?
He was a minister.
Minister, okay. Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm coming to you as a member of your church, not as your daughter. So don't judge me.
Right,
I remember those exact words. And he had his newspaper. He took his glasses off, and then he put his newspaper down, and he looked at me, and he was like, what? And I was like, I think I like my best friend. We've been best friends for ever. And then he was he jumped, flew out of the bed. He jumped out of bed. He started screaming, you want to be looking on another one? You want to be? It's just so crazy. My mom was like, honey, calm down. And it just made me feel so ashamed. I feel like I feel like religion does that. Religion does that to a lot of people. It places you into a box. It places you into this this world of fear. I can't be this. I can't be that. I can't be myself. I can't. It's confinement. You know what I mean? And I had to pull away from that. I think going to FAMU, going to college, and learning who I am, who I was, and just being comfortable and embracing myself really helped me to just. So
did your dad come around at some point?
Never come around. He's never really seen me date anybody.
Okay.
So
he's still meaning, is he more accepting now, or?
Well, he passed away as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he passed away when I was in college.
Wow, sorry.
So I feel like everything happens. Everything is an experience. Everything makes you a stronger person, a better person. But I feel like as far as the religion, I feel like he kind of came around. He made it easier for us, and for us to accept and be ourselves. He wasn't so strict. Now we're adults and now we're ourselves. he didn't make us feel ashamed about it.
Okay,
know?
well
So,
that's good. That's good.
but we never discussed that. Like we never had
Okay, the details of
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yes, yes. We have a couple questions. I see. Hello, everybody. Jodianne is saying condolences. And
Thank you.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining. And one question was about your heritage.
My heritage. I know I'm American.
You're American.
And
Okay,
I
wasn't
know
sure.
like my ancestors on my father's side from the West Indies, and my ancestors on my mother's side are deep rooted from the Bahamas. So, but my great grandmother, my great grandmother on my mother's side was full Cherokee Indian, and I mean we were raised American, you know.
So your grandparents are American?
My grandparents.
So you're African American?
Yeah,
American.
I'm African American. Yeah. But I know people ask because my features and just the way I am. Like people are like, you don't seem American. I'm like, yeah, I'm conscious. I'm woke.
You're woke. Yeah. And then somebody here, I think that was Jody asking. I don't know. What's that question? You see that question there? I don't want to even touch the screen. It was.
What was the first time you tasted?
Wow. Yes. Okay. I love it.
Tasted what?
Are we talking about sexual experience?
I think she is.
Okay, let's go into that.
Knowing Jodianne, that's definitely her question.
My first experience was I was in the military.
Wow.
And
so that's after Don't Ask, Don't Tell?
That was during Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And I remember every time I heard Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I'm like,
oh man.
Don't ask, don't tell what?
Yeah.
Like, but it was a really intense experience. She was married.
Oh, wow.
But I think her husband, he was okay with it. You know, like to me, that's what I got. What I got. When he looked, he talked to me like he was okay with it. So, but I had a big crush on her, and she was my superior, and it was crazy because one day we were sitting on the phone, we were having a conversation, and I asked her, I was like, so are you going to teach me some things? And she was like, wait a minute, you've never been with a woman? I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I want you to be my first. She was like, no. And it turned out that she ended up being my first, and it was a beautiful experience. I was nervous because I feel like we say we are, like, a lot of women say, oh, I love women, and I want to try it, and they try it, and they don't even like eating pussy. So, and I'm like, okay, what, you don't like to serve your woman, like, I don't know how you can, but, you know, everybody to each his own, but I loved it, I enjoyed it, like, every moment of it was beautiful, like,
oh, nice.
To me, like, I already knew before I tried it that
you wanted that's where you were.
That's who I was. So
yeah.
But I mean, if I had time to go into detail and
that's good.
I mean, really quickly.
No, it's fine. You can, sure.
I remember we were in training. We were getting ready to go to Iraq, and we were kind of like messing and flirting with each other. She used to like tease me, do stuff like. They'll ask for a volunteer. They gotta ask for a volunteer, and she'll push me, and I'll end up like I didn't ask to volunteer, and like, Darty, thank you for volunteering. I'm like, no, she pushed me. She would do little, like, kick me, like, you know, she would tease me. And it was one day she said she was coming down to the second floor to wash her clothes, and I was like, okay, so you coming down to wash your clothes? She was like, yeah, there's no more dryers on my floor, and I'm like, okay. If you in the military, you know about the barracks, you know about, you know, like, how the living is and stuff like that. So at this particular one in Fort Sill, like in Oklahoma, where we were blessed that everybody had their own room. So she came with her book, and I was like, okay, so you're just gonna sit there and read a book? And she was like, Zipporah, don't play with me. You already know I came here. I told you what I came here to do. So I was like, okay. So then I started messing with her, and I grabbed her book, and we were running around the little small room, and then she pinned me, like, I don't know how, like, I think she got me down. And so I was like, okay, now I'm nervous. Like, I've never done it before, so this woman's body is close to mine, like, it's right up against me, like, and so I dropped the book, and she was like, okay, exactly, don't play, because you know you're not ready.
Oh, man.
And I'm on like, in my mouth, I'm like, yes, I am ready, I've got this.
But
like,
when it was happening,
in my
nervous.
mind, I'm like, my heart is beating, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So then it got to a point where, like, I'm sitting next to her, and I start kissing her, like, and she was like, what are you doing? You do not know what you're doing. You need to stop. Like, I'm like, you're saying that because I'm turning you on, and you're trying to deny it. So we started messing around. We end up on the bed, and, you know, she's sitting on the bed, and I kind of, like, push her legs apart, and she was like, no. And I was like, but I want to, like, I want to taste it. I want to know. Like, this is my first time. I wanted to see how it is. And she was like, no, we need to stop. So she was like, I'm going to go and check on I'm going to go and check on my clothes and I'm not going to come back. And I was like, okay. So she get her stuff and she's walking out. And then we ended up, like, there's a hallway towards the door. Right before the door, we end up against the wall, like, and we're kissing passionately. You know in those movies how this literally was like a movie. Like, we just start kissing, like, tongue action.
I'm getting hot over here. This is a good story.
It just got intense, and we had to stop. We had to stop, and then she left, and then I was like, wow, like,
hold on. We have a question here that's actually tied to what you're talking about.
Okay.
How much does your sexual experience influence your art? Any piece in particular stands out?
I do have a piece called I Want Her, Not He, My Fantasy, and it was about her.
Oh, wow. Okay, great.
It got really messy towards, like, that was before the deployment, training and stuff. And once we got to Iraq, I don't know how, but it just happened that she ended up being in one of the rooms next to mine. And
wow.
It got really messy. It was very strenuous. Like, I was depressed.
Oh,
like, being away from home, my first deployment. And it's just, I was very naive and very green. So,
right.
But
how old were you?
I was probably 22.
Okay, yeah, that's really young.
You know, it's young. And then I'm like, I just came out of the church, out of, you know,
and
that was my first
And she's
one.
your supervisor, which
And
is
she was,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
Right.
I captain.
Right. What was the question?
The question was, and you answered it because she's asking about, like, does your sexual experience impact your art? And you're saying you've written about it. Do you know it by heart? Anything that you want to share? You want to share a poem?
I can't share.
Yeah, share something, sure.
I'm going to give a little clipping of it.
Good, yeah.
I want to chase her, hoping she allows me to taste her. I want to lick her from her tit to her clit, from her clit to her nose, from her nose to her toes. I want to rotate my tongue around her hole as my heart speaks to her soul. I want my tongue to then vibrate and speed as my words feed passion and love into her ear, proving I have no fear. I want to kiss her soft, beautiful brown legs and spread them on a bed like butter on bread. Using my fingers, her nerves become numb. Using my fingers, I will taste some.
Oh.
That's all I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
If you want to hear it,
Does that answer your question? Yes.
Right.
Definitely, without a doubt. Anybody got like a napkin or a handkerchief or something? I'm starting to sweat. We're sweating over here. Yeah. Great questions. Thank you, Julianne. And thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Wow. So, any future plans with poetry? Like, we know you have some things that you're going to share too.
I have a video.
You have a video. Talk a little bit about that. And I can, if you have future plans, of course, share. But I don't want to forget about that. You have
the video.
The video.
Yeah.
I gotta try to keep my mind clear. So there's a video, Nikki, and we have Nikki Lopez here, who's doing our behind the scenes, putting in information for us. So there's a link. Do you see the link to put in? Thank you very much.
There's a link. It's on my IG, ZJAEL. And also, I have an album on SoundCloud.
Yes,
it's about
album.
7 pieces. This Was Seen Free is definitely on it. The erotic poetry that I just did is not on there. But it's 7 good, powerful pieces. And it's called Crying Queen. And I created that piece 2016, that actual full album in 2016. And just during the time when I was like waking up and becoming more conscious, and the Black Power. Mm-hmm. They had the Black Power annual awards. The first annual awards was coming out that year. It just was a lot. All the stuff at Farrakhan, like it was just a lot of the march. It was just a lot of things that was coming, and that the energy and the vibration of our people was, it's rising. But that was the time. That was during the time. I think 2015, 2016 is when we started realizing like what is like really wanting to speak out, with all the killings and stuff. And so it has a lot of, it's very intense. It's very intense.
Okay. And the link is there so people can
check it out.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining. Please share this. Please, we love the questions. Been some great questions. Please like the page, Vergy TV. And this is Zipporah Jael, poet. She just shared some of her poetry, some of her stories, a little erotic stories there. Thank you. You did an event recently, but I wanted to talk to you about something that's tied to the event, this product.
The product, yeah.
Talk a little bit. And how are we on time? I have no idea about the time. 9 minutes. Okay.
Sorry,
So we have some time.
Right.
So talk a little bit about the product. What is it called?
The Cherished Pad.
The Cherished Pads.
Our
What's the
website
Okay.
is kdcherishedpad.com, and it's like most of the products that we use now, the feminine products that we use now, are banned in 9 different countries.
Wow.
And so it's like you wonder in your mind as a woman, like, why, like all these pap smears, and just like when I did the Vagina Monologues, I was so happy to have my angry vagina, because that coincided with me like pushing these holistic pads.
Right.
And they contain an ionic strip in them, which, if you know anything about negative ions, you can find negative ions at the beach. It has all 4 elements. You have the earth, you have wind, you have air, you have fire. And when your body is receiving, getting exposed to all of those elements, it causes healing, purity, relaxation. And so a lot of pads that we use, like Always and stuff like that, they push toxins into our body. What we're supposed to do when we come on our cycle, we're supposed to release toxins. Right. And so what this negative ionic strip does, it pulls the toxins, and then it's made from material that is not like garbage bags. Like some pads, most of the pads here that are pushed in America, they're made with, like the material that you make with garbage bags. It's not absorbing anything. It's just sitting there, So a lot of women are like, I don't want to use pads, I want to use tampons, but tampons are really horrible. It's not just a disease that you can possibly get. It's just that you're like, the toxins are coming out of you through the blood, and then you have that tampon just sitting, and it's just all that toxin and chemicals are just sitting on your walls. Yeah. And we want to survive. We are the creators. We are the ones that's bringing life into the world. So we want to do everything we can to better ourselves. And these pads are light. They don't feel. I'm a runner. So
the Cherished Pads, they are pads.
They're pads.
They're pads. But they're like But they're.
What's the website again?
It's kdcherishedpad.com.
Okay, so they're pads, but they're more like they're healthier for us.
They're healthier.
They're like because the pads that we typically buy in a store here in America, they're not going to be thinking about like women and our bodies. Right. And what's the best thing for us? Right.
Everything is like fake.
So I had this idea that it was like a cup or something. It's not the cup.
No, it's not the cup.
I've heard about like a cup or something.
No,
it's not the cup.
I heard the cup too. Yeah. I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah. I'm very open to the pads. I think I'll get them. I will. Yeah. But when I heard a cup, I was like, I don't know about a cup.
Right.
That just seems
I'm just thinking about sitting on a cup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I don't know how it works. Is a cup inside you?
Right.
Like, that's just. But the pads sound good.
Right.
So I mean, have you thought of getting the pads into like mainstream, like the grocery stores or pharmacies? Have you?
KD Cherish is sponsored by or pushed by. I'm trying to remember the name of the company. Inspire. Okay. INSPIRE, and they're not. I don't think they're gonna. It's more so like it's not a pyramid scheme, but it's more so like a pyramid.
I understand what you mean.
So they're
marketing like to each other, and not necessarily in
not in
retail store.
I feel like they should. I feel like I really think they should.
If it's a better pad for us, then, I probably just have a couple more years. I'm already up there, but I could be healthier, and I'm down to be healthier. A couple more years of my cycle. Right. That's what I'm saying. I probably
lucky you.
Yeah. So, so we have another question here from Judy thinking, hey, we got Lady B joined in. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, Lady B, I miss you.
Yeah. I've seen y'all together at Dark Woman for years. Yeah.
Road dog. Yeah. She moved all the way to the Timbuktu.
And then speaking of moving, I know that you're moving to Timbuktu a little further too.
Yeah, I'm moving to Spain in October. My niece and I.
Yeah, I love that. Moving to Spain.
I'm ready to like explore. Like I want to learn Spanish. I feel like Spanish is like a huge this is nationwide. Huge, and I feel like everybody should know. We all should know each other's languages.
Yeah, it's when in America it feels like people don't really know other languages. When you travel to Europe, Africa, other places, people know several languages, several.
Right.
I was just in Israel, and a guy who looked like me, he's Ethiopian Jew, Israeli. And he was talking to me, and I was like, well, he thought I was also Ethiopian. And I was like, I don't speak that. And then I ended up saying to him, I only speak English. And he was like, you only speak English?
Like, it was weird to him, right?
Yeah, he was like it's new. Like, what happened to you? I'm like, Yeah, I mean, that's all I got.
I mean, it's the education.
Yeah, over here, they teach you some basic Spanish so you can say, hello, ¿cómo estás?
Right.
Me amo, ¿dónde está? It's basic.
Right.
They don't want you to have the conversational.
Right.
But you'll get over there and you'll do it. So it's great.
By the end of 2019, I will be fluent.
I love that. Yeah, and then you're going to be coming back to America to live?
No,
Not right away.
Not right away. I feel like I
Travel,
want to
that's
explore.
lovely.
I want to learn. I want to see how it feels to live amongst other people in a different culture.
I saw that you were like in France like a year ago or something.
I was in France, and it was like funny because nobody would want to speak to me because I didn't speak French.
Right. Yeah.
It was, I was able to move around and stuff like that, whatever, because I'm a friendly person. But it was
You
tough.
struggled. How long were you
tough.
there?
I was there for a week.
Oh, I thought it was longer. It felt like a month.
Wait, was I there for a week or two? It might have been 2 weeks.
Okay, and you performed when you were there.
I did perform in London, and it was amazing. Like I had this woman bow to me.
What other stage would you love to perform on?
What other stage? I would say I would love, like, I want to meet Kendrick Lamar, and I want him to hear my This Pussy Ain't Free piece. I want to perform.
He should put that on his
right.
He
should.
should.
I manifest that.
Yes, Kendrick Lamar put this
Pussy Ain't Free. Like,
do something with it.
That. Do something with it.
Yeah.
Like, we're manifesting that right now.
Yeah, make it happen.
Someone asked me about the link for the pads, but I couldn't find it. I put
Cherished.com. Okay, so if you're following me on Facebook, I'll make sure I post it. It is on my Facebook.
Okay.
It is on my Instagram. I do have the Pussy Power Movement on Instagram. If you find that, but if you follow me on Facebook, it is on my Facebook. You just have to scroll down.
And on Facebook, follow you where? What's the name?
Zipporah Jael.
Zipporah Jael.
So I'll post the link on my Facebook when I get home. I'll make sure I do that because I really want you guys to try it out.
I'm gonna try it.
Doesn't feel like a pad. It feels very light.
It's very light.
Yeah,
I like to do it. I like to try.
Yeah.
So I think we probably have just a couple minutes left, and I end with what I call queer conversation closing questions. We're good. How are we with time?
Just a couple minutes.
Couple minutes. Okay, so we have a couple minutes. What inspires you?
Love inspires me. I am a Taurus. We are passionate lovers. People say we're crazy, but we're not crazy. We're just we just have a lot of passion. We just have a lot of love, and we love hard and strong. And I feel like my love for people, my love for humanity, my love for nature inspires me, and just broadening my waking up, becoming more and more conscious, just the desire to have people hear the truth. That's my passion, that's my drive.
Wonderful, I love that. And I see people still coming on. Thank you for joining us. Good evening, Gloria. And Jodianne is saying, manifest it, girl. Yes, we're manifesting all kind of goodness.
Y'all manifesting it with me.
Yes, we're all together. What makes you laugh?
Oh my God. Jokes make me laugh. No, just being silly. I love to have fun. I'm always having gatherings at my house, dancing, acting silly, and kids make me laugh. They are they're hilarious. It's like little mini adults, and it's like you look at a kid and they sing they're speaking, having adult conversations is so hilarious to me. So
that's good. I like that. Okay, a couple more. What's sexy?
What's sexy? I think power is sexy. And when it's humble power, not the conceited, just that humbling, my ideal queen would be, conscious, natural, woke, driven, and like me, I know, I feel like if we look, it's important for us to be able to see ourselves, our reflection.
You want to see a reflection?
Yeah.
You think you can handle her?
I don't know. She might be handling me.
Yeah. Okay.
Can she handle me?
Yeah, exactly. Right. That sounds interesting. Remember, a question. We're wrapping up. We're going to address this question. How do you deal with writer's block? That's from Lady B.
Writer's block.
Do you experience it?
I do experience. I feel like I experienced that last year. I feel like writer's block is basically when your spirit is at rest, it doesn't want to release. It's when you write, you receive a download and then you spit it out. But sometimes writer's blog is not nothing to feel like, oh my God, I can't write. It's just your mind is silent. And it's okay to be silent for a while. It doesn't matter. Allow yourself to go through that silence. Allow yourself to process your thoughts. And I just meditate. I meditate and I allow the process to be natural and I just wait for it to come back.
You have to kind of release. If you push yourself too hard, then it's going to be harder.
Right. You're going to force.
Yeah. You're like,
word.
this is not what I want.
Right.
And I have one more question, but before I go to it, I don't know, Nikki, did you put in a darkwoman.com link? We have a splash page, everybody. When you go to that, you were asking people to RSVP. You have a few choices. You could say you're going to come as a guest. You want to come as a visual artist. We're going to do a call for visual artists and have a big art show. And you could say you want to come as a performer. You want to be a volunteer. Or you want to be a sponsor. So go to that page, darkwoman.com. Thank you so much. So go to that page and RSVP. And we want to have everybody's information so we can update you. We're going to get a lot of different information about venues and times and different things you could do. So yes, please do that. So okay, so we're wrapping up. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad you did.
I'm so glad.
Great conversation.
Right?
Yes.
This is perfect.
So last one is, what's so great about being a woman that loves women?
Oh my gosh. I feel like women, we understand each other, and not that I'm not taking against the masculine energy, but I feel like as two gods, I feel like the woman is God. When she births a child, that child looks at her as God until he or she becomes his own God. And for two gods to be together, that's magical. If we knew our worth and we stuck together and loved each other more, I feel like the world would be a better place. I love it from her smell to her hair to no hair on her face. I love everything about a woman. Even if a woman has a hair on her face, I love everything about a woman. Just the energy that I receive from being with a woman. I feel the sensuality and the femininity. I think I love it. I feel like I'm swimming in joy.
Swimming in joy. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, thanks for joining us, everyone. See you next week.
Bye, Shaki.
Bye.